Yet.
And
We're there yet.
We are here. We are here. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Left UnSupervised, which is Misbehaving. I am Nikki Jobin, and this is my lovely business partner.
I'm Diana Rachel. We are the co-owners of Golden Apple Metaphysical, based in the Bay Area. I like to say San Francisco, but based in the Bay Area. And I am bilocating. So from the Midwest, from Michigan to San Francisco as I can, except my partner's stupid roommate got COVID, so I'm not visiting there now like I wanted to, because apparently it was a let's go to the secret Burning Man event. Everyone will get tested. It'll be fine.
Yeah, ridiculous. And for people that don't believe that COVID is a thing, wherever you're watching from,
Yeah.
Oh, well, yes, Diana just got it, but a person in our group who I'm not going to name them personally, but who works in they
are a mortician.
Yes, they're a mortician. Thank you. I was trying to name the industry and I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
She says she does. They say they do on average 2 COVID cases a day.
Yeah, and right now they are so backed up that their freezer is full for the first time since they've been there.
Their overflow area is full.
I had a minor case, and I am lucky to be alive.
Yeah, and if anybody on my personal page is watching this and you don't think COVID is a thing, please delete yourself.
And if you think it was just the flu, no, it's sort of like an orgasm. You really know it when it happens, but in the worst way possible.
I love that. The worst way possible, yeah. But yeah, this is a serious thing. I'm an essential worker now, and I still get people in every day that, the anti-maskers, the people that, don't want to wear their mask correctly. It's like a condom, people. It only works when you wear it right.
Yeah, and the reason I got sick because my partner and I were taking precautions because we have young kids is you dumbass deliverance motherfuckers trying to go after Governor Whitmer instead of just masking up and maybe wrapping up your peckers so you don't breed. Knock it off, dumb fucks. That's how I feel.
Well, don't hold back. Don't hold back, because we don't hold back on this show. We just say
no. And for those that know me, my bullshit tolerance has been over full the last week or so.
Yeah, and I just want to say she's the more patient of the two of us. So when her bullshit level is getting full, you better watch out.
Yeah, because I don't subscribe to harm none. I don't go out looking for trouble. But if you start a fight with me, I will finish it.
What's my mantra? Harm none, but take no shit. Like, I try not to harm people, but my other mantra is fuck with me and I'll fuck with you harder.
And mine is, Nikki, I need to hide a body.
I know where to do that.
Yep. I have a small network now. It's very useful.
Yeah. And I realize that this is all hypothetical because this is public TV.
Yep. Yep. And I am just going to say, if somebody's trying to make you feel sorry for them, question everything, because the age of absolutism needs to die with the end of Trump.
And here's the thing: if people are making you try to feel sorry for them, I always, unless I really know the person, like if I really know the person and I know what they're going through, that's a totally different thing. But for other people that are just trying to put it out there and make you feel bad, I want to know what they're selling. I don't trust people very easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, pretty much everything about me, but we have built up that trust, and vice versa.
I'm trying to invite my co-host Nora up, but she's not having it right now.
That's all right. My co-host Lilith, the cat, not the goddess, is running around. She's just like, no, dude, I don't want your people to see me.
Oh, it looks like our co-host is joining. My co-host is joining me.
Nora, the co-host.
Nora, if anything happens to her, she will avenge with the wrath of 1,000 furies.
Oh, I will help you. And mine won't be furies. Mine will be demons. You hurt the dog, I'll hurt you.
Yes, this is my sweetheart. She thinks I'm her pet. She thinks I'm her pet dragon cat.
You are her
pet.
Like
Nikki got to see earlier because we had our Emperor Norton Zoom meeting. Nora decided I needed pets, so she jumped up and she will actually like run her paw over me and pet me.
She did. It was hysterical. And then she promptly slid off.
Well, yes, because we didn't have the couch extended. Like we just traded out couches because the one we had was just like a pandemic. And you remember last summer when nothing got there on time and every possible item was just sold out.
Mhm.
And we had a bed bug scare. There were none, thankfully. So we had to trade out the furniture right away because, and honestly, I just wanted to set fire to the couch that was in here. And so, I'm like, oh, it might have it. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. Unfortunately, the couch that we kept trying to order kept falling through. So we had this gigantic purple beanbag chair in our living room for a while, which the kids loved. The problem with that was, and it would have worked, except that I walked in and had to actually say, actual parenting sentence is stop standing on each other's faces. Because the
Yep,
beanbag chair gave them the ability to do this.
that's a thing. That's totally a thing.
Yeah, I'm just,
Totally a thing. Yeah.
I'm raising boys. I was warned. um, and then we finally got this new one, but it sucks. Like it just jacks up our spines, everything. But it has one of those shelves that you pull out, which was great on a
Mhm.
good quality one. It's great for cuddle piles.
Mhm.
Yeah, you love the cuddle piles. Um, yes, you are such a cuddle slut. But it was not so great for the adults, even though our kids love it. So, since our oldest is staying with us now, that's going to be his bed for a while.
Mhm.
And we have a more good, comfortable one, but it's one of those ones where you actually have to push a button to recline it. And Nora forgot,
Yeah.
and so she jumped up, getting cuddles from the parents, and then her ass just kind of landed.
Yeah. She just kind of slid down. All of a
Yes,
sudden,
it
you
was pretty
saw
funny.
all of Nora, and then you saw like half of her.
Yes, it was pretty funny.
You've been on my couch. My couch is.
Oh yeah.
It's got these gigantic fluffy pillows for your back, which are
Hmm.
great. But
Yeah.
overall, like I fall asleep on it so much, and I wake up feeling like I'm going to break into a million pieces. But I only paid $125 for it,
Yeah,
and
but that's also, yeah, but that's
well,
like what you're gonna get. So,
I know. Well, I got it from one of those stager places.
oh,
So
that
it was
explains
barely
it.
used. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was only used for staging houses for sale. So
yeah.
I mean, I didn't get the chair
So,
I
so
wanted. I still want that chair.
yeah, so only sample butts sat in it
Yeah,
before you. So,
yeah,
oh
and
no,
probably very little at that.
yeah.
But no, that was yeah. Speaking of comfort, which leads me to think about back health and overall health, and then that's going to segue into mental health. Our topic
Hmm.
tonight is working through burnout. Now we've all been in this pandemic for way too fucking long,
Yeah,
way too long, and pretty much, well, Diana's an introvert, so
very
we've
much
had
so.
and I'm an extrovert, and we've had very different experiences with this.
Yeah,
Um,
for me, it's been no one's allowed to see me. This is fantastic.
Yeah, for me, I have a lot of skin hunger, and
Yeah,
I can only hug my children so many times before they start complaining.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so, and it's not just like I said, I'm an essential worker now, so I see people, I deal with the public a lot, but it's very different from working at the bar because we're huggers. Everyone comes in and we're all huggers.
Hmm.
So for me, I'm getting that hunger fed because I'm hugging people all day. That does not happen now. It's very sad.
I know. Well, because your workplace is kind of, you'd say Nikki is the extrovert, introvert, and Diane is the extrovert. No, Kathleen, it's very much the other way around. I am a true introvert.
Yeah,
So,
Kathleen's never seen me at my bar. I'm very quiet in the meetup because I like to watch and see what's going on, and then I
mhm.
kind of drift around and just create conversations with people. But if you actually saw me outside the group, you would see a very, very different person.
All right, Nora, you don't get to eat the chinchillas. I have dibs. Come on. Um, my kids' chinchillas are also staying with us right now. So come on, Nora. But
Um,
for I think introversion is really misunderstood. Is an introvert isn't necessarily someone who's quiet or shy. We tend to not do so well with small talk, and has anyone ever actually had a trivial conversation with me?
No, I made that point today. You don't
Yeah.
like them. You're not good at them. You don't schmooze. You can. Now, you are fully capable of doing this, but you don't like it. So you don't do it unless you absolutely have to. And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah,
I
because
can
it's,
schmooze all day long.
for me, a small circle of people I trust and people that I genuinely connect to is more important than having a lot of friends or having the popular people like me or being popular.
Mhm.
And also, I can go for a certain amount of time, but then I get worn out. It's why I have explained it to some people that I'm a once a month friend, and that's actually usually I do miss my friends. Like I am missing the shit out of San Francisco right now. And, I'm missing my partners down there and I'm missing my friends. And I know when I was back in August, having 3 weeks there to say goodbye and to pack things up was really a big help
Mhm.
because even if I'm not necessarily a hugger or the most physically affectionate, having that time and that face-to-face time was something I needed and is something I do need. I just don't need nearly as much of it as most people.
Mhm. Not even
Which
a
is
quarter of as much as I need. Yeah.
yeah, and like I will have friendships that go for years where we just don't see each other. And like I have one friend where we have yet to meet in person. We have been in contact for 15 years. Like it's becoming a running joke with him and his wife about someday we shall meet because they used to live in Minneapolis and
Mhm.
every time they came to town, I happened to be out of town.
Yeah.
Like I would leave and they'd come in almost Nora consistently. Excuse me, the thumping is my dog having a nervous itch and
Oh, I thought
if,
that was
if I
her
let her,
tail.
yeah, if I let her go, she'll tear her ear up.
Hmm.
So, and she's been a little tense because I won't let her eat the chinchillas, and reading her chinchilla recipes has stopped soothing her.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
that's the
chicken.
weird noises. It's okay, puppy.
I think no,
So,
my dog's making weird noises upstairs. Maybe she feels some solidarity with Nora about wanting to eat the chinchillas. I don't know.
I mean, it could be
Um,
Elizabeth summoning demons again.
no, she knows she's not allowed to do that anymore.
Okay. Well, not in the house.
I did say that, didn't I?
And she has a balcony now, right?
All the plants are kind of dead right now. Well, they didn't die from her. They died from the fires.
Oh, yeah, that'd do it.
Yeah, it really killed them all. And I need to take her to Lowe's so we can replace them.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm getting ready to do. I'm planning my garden for the year, and I'm planning on just going a little bit nuts with it if I can.
mhm,
So, partly because I actually am trying to like grow food for the family this year, just to see if I can.
mhm.
Admittedly, the boys had never had not had fresh vegetables before, like for real. They've only had like what we get in the Midwest is either shipped in from South America or Michigan in the winter or California in the winter, which means it's several days old by the time it gets here.
Mhm.
So nothing keeps as long as it does in California. And they had literally never had a fresh from the garden vegetable or only a couple of days old vegetable before.
Wow.
And when I served something from the garden, they were very confused by it's chemically. And so I ate it and I'm just, no, it's fresh.
You're like, it's
That's what
not
fresh veggies
chemical.
taste like,
That's the
kids.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're gonna talk about a little bit more of that burnout because we're all trying to do these things on a very different medium. Instead of having work meetings where you sit down at a table and see each other face to face, we're now on Zooms. Instead of going to our favorite coffee shop and breaking off into little groups for our meetup, we're in Zooms. I think some things have been more exciting because I don't know that we would have done this live
Hmm.
had we not
Yeah.
have we not been, I mean, we may have eventually come to it, but we
Yeah.
definitely would not have done it as soon. So I think that some of the things that we've done for the shop are definitely a positive side effect of the pandemic. But it's
Yeah.
it's very tiring now. I think the mental exhaustion and the screen exhaustion that we're having
Yeah.
is starting to overwhelm people.
Yeah. I had a lot of enthusiasm for a candle magic class that I was going to be teaching at Elements. And honestly, between schedules and people are just zoomed out.
Hmm.
It's one of the things that's been slowing me down from proposing classes for Wicked Grounds this year is the zooming out. I had to drop my shadow class because I got sick, and I know that there's still stuff going, and Wicked Grounds is fantastic, and please support them any way you can. And but it's also I'm looking at this going, do I have the energy anymore? Especially because I'm struggling to get so much stuff up and online that should have been done possibly a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I know I can't speak for everyone. For me, there was already a certain amount of emotional exhaustion going into 2020. And then the pandemic happened, and for me, it was almost like a relief, which is so opposite of what most people have experienced because everything slowed down and stuff couldn't keep coming at me so I could process all of the shit that had happened.
But then you had other stressors.
Yeah.
You moved cross country. Now, I moved this summer as well, which was very stressful, but I moved to the next city. You moved, what, 3,000 miles away?
I moved 3,000 miles away without a specific plan for maintaining in San Francisco, but with an intention to.
Yeah.
I finalized a divorce in June, and literally the day that I did my book launch party in San Francisco at Purusha Yoga is that afternoon. We had finally filed our settlement,
Mm-hmm.
and the next morning I got on a plane to Chicago to see my partner here, and with the plan of returning the next week
Yeah,
because
it would be
Pagana had
1
been
week.
canceled as a precaution.
Mm-hmm.
And rates had been rising, and I almost went anyway, and I had a bad feeling about it. And Minneapolis was one of the places that got hit the worst first
Mm-hmm.
after Seattle. And originally, I'd planned to drive through, had originally planned to go to Seattle, then go to Minneapolis and meet with my partner there. And on that Tuesday, after coming here, shelter in place at San Francisco, and a bunch of flights got canceled. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know when I could get back to San Francisco. And then 3 days later, shelter in place hit here. I couldn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up playing a shit ton of Pokemon Go. So,
And I remember, yeah, because I was supposed to go to the convention with you. We'd have that planned, and the funny thing was we had the hotels booked and everything.
for you and
But
Jennifer,
for
yeah.
whatever reason, I was procrastinating on my registration for the
Mm-hmm.
event and my plane ticket, and
Yeah,
which is very unlike me because I like that stuff settled.
right.
Which I am for our August convention. I am being very cautious about things like my plane ticket or car, whatever I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know if the possibilities. I don't know the percentages of that,
Right.
possibly closing. So my hotel rooms are cancelable, but
Yeah.
it's a little harder to do that with flights. So it's a different mindset now than we had before.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually by this time of year I have all of my flights booked through August.
Hmm.
I haven't touched anything.
Yeah.
Like I trust nothing. I'm supposed to go back and visit my partners, and we had originally planned on doing this as a way of celebrating my house selling finally in Minneapolis.
Hmm.
And I was literally about to go do it, and my partner texted me saying my roommate has COVID and I'm not feeling so well.
Yeah.
So I've just been putting it off as much as I
Mhm.
can. And at this point now, the work has started up again. So I had a big setback because of having COVID, and it's looking like I'm a long hauler where I'm having some mild cognitive symptoms.
Mhm.
And I am suddenly raising two kids and helping an adult child through a crisis. So the pandemic has made me a mom, moved me 3,000 miles back to very close to where I grew up, which I'm not too happy about, but the whole family situation is good. It has given me a third community that is
Mhm.
fantastic. So now I have Minneapolis peeps, my California peeps, and my Kalamazoo peeps. And these are all fantastic communities in different ways.
That's
And
something needed, and it's your little very interesting triangle.
it is.
What is that? An
It's
acute triangle?
equilateral? I don't know. I guess,
I don't know.
how
Obtuse?
would
I
I,
don't know.
yeah. I mean, I suppose I could like I'm planning on retiring to New Orleans, and I may be spending some time since Albuquerque. My friends that I was going to live with in Albuquerque ended up moving to Florida. It could be a pentagram, but a
Ooh, we
really
could make a
demented
weird
one.
we could make a weird pentagram out of it. That would
I
be
mean,
fun.
we were saying earlier that if you made a goetic circle, all you're going to get is geese.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you
Um,
don't need demons; it's geese that are the real evil in the world.
that's right. If I could just learn to train them.
I just want their livers.
We already had that conversation. um,
Dear
so
vegans, I know you're crying.
so with all the changes in mindset and all the additional stressors that people are having now, how do and we're burning out faster, and that's
Yeah.
just the thing, and we're seeing it across the board with people, even people that so the people that are enjoying this time to be to view with people via screen where they don't necessarily have to have their video on,
Mhm.
and to the people that really miss being out and about.
Yeah.
We're just seeing burnout across the board. So how do we work through that? Because I mean, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah. So there's really there are some limitations because saying get more alone time is hard, and like the most convenient suggestion if you are a person with a disability, this may not apply to you. And so we'd have to think of other ways aside from, pretending you're having a fit or something, which could backfire horribly. But even though it's a pandemic, there's no reason you can't go outside. You just can't go near other people.
Mhm,
And getting out, going for a walk, even in the cold weather here, I invested in some good snow boots because I know where I'm living.
mhm.
And just even if it's just 10 minutes to go out and just get some fresh air and get your body moving,
Yeah.
that helps. I've been extremely fortunate in that I have an office space here in town. And so when I need to get the hell away from everybody, I do. Because the beanbag chair lives there now too.
I wish.
And I did decide to invest, and I invested in the Gaia Yoga channel and Galad's Bodies in Motion. So right now we are going to a gym because we joined one of those gyms that Planet Fitness has this app that shows you how many people are in the gym at any given time.
Oh, that's nice.
And so this way, when it's down below a certain bar, I will go.
I'm not even sure if our gyms have opened up yet. I mean, we were just released last week into the purple tier. I've heard that San Francisco may be released into the red tier. So
Mhm.
we're not 100% certain. I just have Brad and Chris were going to the gym when things were more open, when we were in the not red, maybe it was
Right,
orange. I forget what the tier after before red is, but
right.
we were going for a little bit. But Elizabeth is still too young. All the
Yeah.
facilities here at my apartment building are closed, so we can't go swimming. We can't use the gym.
Mhm.
Even going for walks. In the beginning, I was taking the kids to the beach, and we were doing walks along the beach, but it's so hit or miss during the day, and we were seeing so many groups of people that were not distancing and not masking that
Yeah,
it just became not worth it. Like I can't risk their health.
yeah.
You
No,
know.
you can't. And even up here at Lake Michigan, we had a setup where we got ourselves, and you can't necessarily do this in California,
Mhm,
at least in the parts that you're in, is like we had a setup that created a psychological barrier because we
mhm,
had a canopy and then we had like our own hammock chairs, and then we would put towels on the outside so people would subconsciously walk around them.
mhm,
But that only works in summer in Michigan,
mhm.
quite simply because Midwesterners don't like getting close to each other anyway. It's one of the reasons I'm so stunned there is such an epidemic in the Twin Cities, is because for a Minnesotan, 6 feet seems a little too close anyway.
Wow.
And I'm not,
Yeah, not
you've been
here.
there, I'm not joking.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's an interesting thing because where I work now is in Pacifica, and when we had some really nice days,
Hmm.
honestly, I live 20 minutes away from my job, and it I left over an hour early because traffic was so backed up because the beaches were packed.
Oh my God. Yeah, and
Oh,
I
it
was
was
seeing pictures
awful.
from some of our mutual friends where they were going to the beach
Yeah.
every day. And they were pretty good about protecting their zones, but you could
Mhm.
see like
You can see
all the
people.
nonstop. Well, and I think a lot of people just thought of it as they were playing hooky from work for a while
Yeah.
because there was a certain level of denial about how serious this is. There still is.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it was not dealt with properly from get-go.
It was not.
There was a lot of misinformation that is still going on out there.
And
Um,
disinformation, pandemic case in point.
mhm. However, under our new leadership, the CDC was able to make not wearing a mask a felony.
I hadn't
I
heard that.
think it might only be for traveling right now, but
Right.
they basically were given the go ahead to do what you need to do.
And I was for me, I was already traveling with a mask and gloves anyway because
Mhm.
you sneeze on me sideways, I'll catch something.
You sneeze in the same room as you and you catch something.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm very much the opposite of that for whatever reason.
Yeah. And again, for me, it's high stress levels for multiple
Mhm.
years.
Yeah.
So while everyone else is kind of sliding into the pandemic, going, "What do I do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm already at this level,"
Hmm.
and because it's been status, my body has been crisising out for so many years. It's actually like it's not new, it's not more stress for me, but it's still enough that for example, working in blog post or working in social media, even before I got sick, I was running out of steam really easily.
Hmm.
It's a miracle I managed to finish another book since I've been
You were
here.
you were used to working that around things, but the addition of the social media and
Yeah,
the blogs and
yeah,
let's be honest, you're a new mom. They may be not babies, but you're a
yeah,
new mom, and that's a different mindset. Like
it
you have to
is.
completely. I remember when I first had kids, and obviously they were babies, but you have to you have to rework your schedule. You have to rework how you do things, and you have to completely reprogram your mind to the
Mhm.
fact that you are now caring for another human.
And I'm caring for three other humans
Mhm,
plus the girlfriend.
mhm.
And now I have things where I have to remember, like when I'm talking to my partner Tom, that they're going to listen in, which is why my 10-year-old, after I told a slightly dirty story about an incident when I lived in the warehouse district of Minneapolis, came and said, "What's a dildo?"
This is why we do this show on the weeks that you don't have the younger children. As for the other two, they'll just have to learn to deal with it.
Oh, and the best birth control is sometimes your own parents.
Oh, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Or, a little jar. I'm just saying.
I don't
Um,
know anything about that.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and now, and compounding now on all the just life stress that people have, for those of
Yeah.
us that are magical people, we
There's the
have now all this metaphysical junk that's going through.
yeah. Yeah, and I remember they had that thing about 2012 being the world ending, and it was way before that people knew it to be a mistranslation.
Mhm.
And I remember because the translation was something roughly magic comes back to the earth. And I feel like that has been kind of happening.
Mhm.
Or a hellmouth. It could be a hellmouth.
I can
Murder
deal. I know what to do on Hellmouth.
Australia seems very hellmouthy.
Australia. I want to go to Australia so bad, but I don't. There are like 29 different species of animal that can kill you there.
Yes, but have you seen Thunder Down Under?
Please, girl, I can get that here. I can get that in Vegas. But there are towns that are covered in spiders for like half the year. Like I'm not about that shit.
Don't tell Cindy.
Spiders, spiders. They're gonna watch this later. Big spider, like covered. It's not cotton. It's
We are
not.
not going there for vacation, Cindy. No.
Oh, they want spiders. Oh, I thought it was the opposite
No,
side.
they love spiders.
Oh,
They
oh
have
yeah,
enough.
we're not doing that.
They have some kind of compact with the spiders in our house. I am not joking. There's one day where I was
You know
cleaning up
what?
the
I
kitchen.
remember that.
There was one day when I was cleaning up the kitchen and I looked down and a spider came out to the middle of the counter, actually waved at me, and then wandered off.
No, I remember. Can I tell this story?
You may tell the story.
Okay, so I was at Diana's San Francisco house while she was out there, while she was in Michigan. I was at the San Francisco house. I was kind of dusting things, bringing the mail up. I didn't think to empty the refrigerator.
Yeah, that
But
was painful.
I was also getting stuff for like I was bringing books back to my house, so if they needed to be shipped out, I could just ship them from there.
Mhm.
And the one day that I was there, um, I was a little weird, and I thought I kept getting walking through spider webs, and I'm like, I know that there are not this many spiders in this house, and I kept feeling like I had a spider on me. What I did not realize was that the house had new wardings on it that I did
Mhm.
not set the passcode to. And believe what you will, people. Let me tell you, I will never forget that feeling. Had it been snakes, had it been anything else, mice, I'd have been cool. Spiders, look, I like want to touch myself all over now because I feel, oh,
Yeah, those are pretty nasty. I'm pretty sure my ex-boyfriend broke into the house while I was gone.
yeah.
Like, it could have been somebody else, but it was either my ex-boyfriend or my ex, whatever the fuck he was. That,
Oh,
yeah. So, like, somebody broke into my house while I was gone. Like, nothing was missing, which means that somebody planted something.
yeah. Look, I'm still itchy now. See, it's my fault because I talked about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
so, I didn't know. But actually, I'm glad that it was what it was because I thought I was going nuts. I was like, I'm looking for spider webs. I'm walking all over your house going, I feel like I have walked through a cobweb. Like it was the creepiest like thing, but
Yeah.
yet it was not my imagination, which
Mm,
I'm very glad that it wasn't. But
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
very
there's
different wording that I'd ever experienced.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when you're an animist, you do things very differently.
Yeah, I think mine is just a giant, you know, go away sign. It's effective for me.
Yeah. I have learned a lot of stuff because of a lot of people that think that somehow no and rules of consent don't apply to them because of a certain sense of self-righteousness. And, those rules are those rules. They are fairly rigid no matter what you believe about yourself.
Yeah.
And things will fucking eat you.
Mhm. And I remember I think I remember that when you were house sitting for me, you got attacked in my house. And I remember thinking, how is that possible? I know that my warding is solid.
Yeah.
Well, as it turned out, it was because you had a Trojan horse.
Yeah, I did.
Hmm. And for months I'm trying to reinforce these things because I couldn't understand how you kept getting attacked
Well,
at
it
my
was because
house.
my ex-boyfriend was a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to be the one to say it.
Oh, I will. So if people are wondering what happened to Dylan, awesome. No, I
Much,
can't say that, but
much
he
to
is
my
not a good person.
disappointment, he's not dead.
Mm. He is not a good person.
Hmm. For all you witches
So,
out there, I can show you another use for that athame.
what are
Whoa,
we going to
whoa,
call
you
this? The
went to the
Baltic
naughty.
tradition?
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you went to the naughty place. I was like, that's not what I was talking about.
Well, there's that place too, but I was thinking more Bobbit tradition witchcraft.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Um,
See, Budapest got nothing on us.
okay.
Good
She's
for
the one that
it.
will think things through. I am the cut first, ask questions later.
I am the observe, stand back, observe, get the lay of the land,
And then
and
throw the
then
H bomb.
yeah, and then destroy with the most efficiency possible.
Yeah.
And with no prejudice, no spite, and no emotion, which makes it even scarier.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like, how many ways can I kill you?
That's partly because you kind of enjoy the fray. I don't really enjoy the fray. It's mostly get the fuck off my lawn because I want to finish reading my book.
Yeah, see, I mean, obviously we have a gun in the house. I would never use that. That would never be my go-to. I have an axe. I have like a sword on the wall that you can kind of, well, you can kind of see. I
Yeah.
have the sword on the wall there. We have axes. I have tomahawks from my mother's Native American art.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually went to the powwows and purchased from indigenous people, like, and she knew the people that made these things that she purchased. So I mean, she has beautiful items, but I'll cut a bitch with that. I don't care.
Yeah, Nikki's more weapons. I'm more psychological warfare.
I'm the Faith.
You're the Faith. I'm the Giles. I'm a combination of the Giles and the Buffy.
Yeah.
Because I will stab if I have to, but I usually try to find other ways. Because cursing doesn't leave a body. So
Neither do pigs.
yeah, and honestly, cursing right and left takes too much time.
Yeah. I'm really lazy. I don't. I will hex, but I'm kind of lazy, and it's just so much easier to stab.
I have a line. I have a line, and I prefer to break people's toys so they can't use them again rather than directly hex them.
Yeah.
And if it happens to include more than that, that's generally because they really did try to push that far.
Yeah.
I just have no patience with other people's egos.
I mean, aside from laziness, I don't care.
Yeah, so a segue from burnout. So apparently part of burnout is rage.
While I'm enjoying it, she's not.
Yeah, this is not really my gig, honestly.
But it's so much fun for me when you have rage.
Well,
because you do some really funky shit when you have rage,
I
and
am
it's fun.
creative.
And
I am creative when I'm
everything
mad.
that you do is always innovative, but like you just have that little bit of extra in it, which very much appeals to me.
You were so proud of me when I came up with a wrath jar that worked as a 50-person battery.
Oh my god, I loved that. I was dying. And then and then it's I'm the little demon on your shoulder. So I really enjoy it.
So for Good Omens fans, Aziraphale, me, Crowley, her. Yeah, I have gone through for night walks with Nikki where she walks over to plants and says grow, and she thinks she's encouraging them when she's really terrorizing them.
They grow.
They're terrified of you.
Okay, it's either I do it that way or sex magic, and you can't always have sex in public.
It's San Francisco. Yes, you can.
Well, okay, but the people watching aren't always the people I would want to watch.
I know, and some of them do hold up those little signs. It's very judgy.
Wow. I mean,
especially when somebody yells, "You didn't stick the landing."
That was one time. I'm just kidding. Diana and I have never been in sexual situations together ever.
Oh God, no, we have a rule about that. We do not share lovers under any circumstances.
And I love you to death, but you don't want to see me doing that. I don't want to see you doing that.
No. I go to the funky clubs. You go to the nice hotels. I think you're getting the better deal, but still.
I do appreciate that. A good hotel. Pacifica Beach Hotel. Beautiful. Beautiful. Some of the rooms have giant tubs.
I'm still looking for somebody who I find a tolerable human being who can actually take some direction in bed, who will front for the 4-star hotels.
Yeah.
Tolerable human being is the most important part of that, and I am pansexual, so open. Yeah. But
I mean, I've been incredibly blessed with my partners.
Yeah, I have not been. I mean, Cincy's amazing, but yeah.
Someone says good luck.
Good luck, yeah.
I've seen this name before on your stuff, but I don't know who this person is.
This person, and I apologize, I'm not sure what your pronoun is. This person is part of the Emperor Norton group, who's a fairly recent addition, I believe. I think that they joined in meetup a while ago. So, and feel free to share your pronoun if you wish or not, up to you. But if I don't know, I use they, them.
Yeah, safer.
Yeah. So, no, well, I've been fortunate in that, Cinty is an amazing human, and the values that matter the most we share. So that part is awesome.
And I don't always like a lot of humans, so I'm very pleased.
And you don't like a lot of my humans, and sometimes I should actually listen to you.
That, but I didn't want to actually.
I could see the thought bubble. Nikki tends to be much luckier in love than I do, but
now I have promised to really point out when her douche meter should be going off.
Yeah, it really should have been for the last 10 years. But
I've only known you for 5, so
start over. I mean, I still have plenty of blooded virgins left from when I ran the Doctor Who group.
Woohoo! Ooh, are you going to start a new one of those?
I don't know. I have to wait for the pandemic to be over. And the one in Minneapolis finally had to make the decision to shut down this year after more than 10 years. So I was really sad about it, but the fact that it lasted as long as it did after I left was just good for my heart because it
Mhm.
means I built something that was able to have a functioning community. And honestly, right up until people got shitty about the female doctor,
Mhm.
it was going fine.
One of my
So,
cats was making noises. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that there was no hairballs.
summon a goose. But,
So my goal this year is to actually watch some Doctor Who.
oh, really? Okay, so when you don't have two douchebags making puns, it might be tolerable. But knowing you, you're going to like the David Tennant one just because he's pretty.
Well, I do like pretty.
You do like pretty. I will go on weird rants that you will not understand, that involve me screaming, "The doctor is not for snogging."
They should always be for snogging.
No, not this doctor. This doctor is not for snogging. Any other doctor, do whatever you want with that stethoscope. I've got some ideas, but not that doctor. Now, there are some companions, and the master, snog that all you want.
Okay, see, this is why my goal is to watch Doctor Who so I can understand what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, you almost speak Diana.
Well, that's the Diana that I'm deficient in. They don't have a Google Translate for that.
For geek.
I was going to say Diana. I was going to say
Well, there
geek.
is there is no
There's
Google
quite a bit
Translate.
of geek
Google's
that I
lives
do
off
speak.
Prime.
There's quite a bit of geek that I do speak.
That is true. You do, especially Buffy. We do like this is our mutual language is Buffy speak.
Oh my god, I just totally rewatched the whole series,
I need
and
to do that, but right now I'm rewatching Gilmore Girls.
yeah, I'm in the last season of Angel again, just because I had to watch them to the point where they were kind of co happening.
I know my favorite parts are when Wesley finally got hot. Like
Right.
Wesley's like hot Wesley is my dream man because
Mhm.
he's into the occult, he's good looking, and he actually has some odds of survival, which is kind of a must with my life.
I don't know. I always kind of had a thing for Giles. He was pretty hot
They're
for an
both
older
pretty
guy.
hot, and both of them have books, so threesome. Okay, you take Giles, I take
Yeah,
Wesley.
I was gonna say with them.
Especially since I tend to veer younger, you tend to veer older, so I'll take Wesley.
There you go.
I'll take post douchebag Wesley.
I find this so confusing.
So we're doing, okay. So this is the point where we're both so burned out that we just embrace the slap happiness. This is my advice.
Okay, God, we're dumb. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
So this is a sign of burnout: being incapable of sticking to a topic and then getting ridiculous.
I was, I was thinking a few minutes ago, like we had a topic, we really did, and then we kind of veered, and
Yep.
we're still. I know we're going to circle back around, but I'm flowing with the veer.
You know what? It's been one of those weeks.
It has been one of those weeks, but we are not going into that because you know what? That's not worth our time.
So it might help if we actually talked about signs of burnout.
Yes.
So having trouble, okay, and to be fair,
Like
a lot of signs of burnout can look a lot like just having, not just having, but also having ADHD. And I just realized that that light is probably glaring in people's eyes, so I will be right back.
Okay.
So just a sec.
Okay. Well, I guess I will talk about some signs of burnout. Some besides the physical, where your exhaustion is happening, irritability. Irritability can be, a sign. If you're getting irritated by things that wouldn't normally irritate you, it's probably a sign that you've got something going on.
I mean,
Um,
irritability is also just a sign of being Diana.
well, yes, but I was talking about for people's.
Oh, the humans? Oh, yeah.
Um, okay, so you were saying symptoms of ADHD. They're very similar.
Yeah, in that it can be hard to concentrate, it can be hard to finish tasks. There's also the I just don't wanna.
Hmm.
ADHD is a fairly serious neurological condition, so that never really goes away. So in a way, it's sort of like being born with your brain in burnout.
Hmm.
Um, it can be signs of restlessness or just wanting to sleep all the time.
What about
And
poor
it's
sleep?
yeah, and if you have like depression or other neurological things, they will really act up.
Uh-huh.
So, there's different ways of getting through it, and everyone's a little bit different. So, usually the prescription for burnout is take a break. Well, we're in a pandemic, there is no break from it. Not unless you can go out in international waters, and I'm sure there's some shit we're going to hear about in a couple of years.
Yeah. But there are some little things, I mean, we always talk about self-care,
Yeah.
but it is really like, you know what, even if you can take a long shower or a long bath just to have that alone time. I know for parents like myself that your kids are always here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here.
Something I've been seeing people kind of advocate is a return to taking some time out, putting some headphones on, and listening to an entire album all the way through. People don't do that anymore. We listen
I,
in sound bites
I can't do that.
because the kids.
Honestly, and they have class and they're in their Zoom meetings, and Chris is in his room and Liz is in her room. But when they
Mm-hmm.
have breaks, they come out and it's, hey, mom. I'm like, mom's still working. And then they're done at like 2 o'clock. Mom, mom's still working.
And
Guys,
it
you
may
have
be
to
worth,
remember,
and they're not going to listen if you hold up the sign saying, "Go ask Dad."
dad's not home, dad's at work.
Ah, oh
But
yeah,
half
you're not
of,
really allowed to lock them in a room, are you?
yeah,
So
and half of
I
my
say these
work,
horrible things, but I am joking for those that are concerned in the audience. So this is just how parents feel. I just say these things out loud.
yeah. And that when I do work for Golden Apple, all of that stuff is happening on the table, which is, pretty central to everywhere that they're going to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I know when my kids are in school, because it's a small space, so we've got like one kid in our studio, one kid at the kitchen table.
Mhm.
My partner is usually in the living room, so I can either lock myself in the bedroom or figure out somewhere else to go. And granted, Michigan has been a lot more loosey-goosey about what's open or closed, so I could go somewhere if I wanted. And I happen to have some friends who it'd be like, hey, can I come over and work in your store's basement or something? And they would let me, but there's the mold issue.
Yeah.
Um, but again, because we happen to luck into some affordable office space very early here, I have that privilege, but most people don't.
Mhm.
And, I know one of the more ridiculous things I was doing very early on, and this might actually work better in California just because you don't have as much cold to fight.
Mhm.
I was looking for outdoor portable space heaters
Yeah.
just so I could go work outdoors or hang out with friends socially distanced outdoors.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah. We
know,
have here a nice little common area that I could be socially distant with people outside.
yeah, like, and that might be something to start doing. I know there are people in the area, especially those with a little more space to work with, that have been building COVID rooms, which are basically outdoor rooms with a lot of circulation, plastic sheeting, and selective heating, limited
Mhm.
heating. So if they want to socialize or they need just time outside safely, even in below zero weather, they can go there.
Yeah. Well, out here, what I've heard from a lot of customers that own their own homes and live in like the little cul-de-sac kind of neighborhoods,
Yeah.
they all kind of they open up their garages at night. They're all sitting in their little garages, but
Mhm.
they can all kind of talk. They can all kind of, because they are being socially distant, they just come to the end of the drive and they're all
Yeah.
sitting in their little setups and they're able to talk that way, which is,
Which is,
nice.
it feels very King of the Hills. Yep. Yep. But
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 it
and
works.
this is the way some people used to do these things anyway.
Mhm.
It's, this has gotten people talking to their neighbors more.
Yeah.
And I know, like, for those that are especially touch starved, I know there are people that have, rather than just doing total social distancing, have done selective COVID circles.
Mhm.
Like when I was in San Francisco, like Nikki was part of my COVID circle. Everyone had been cautious. Everyone had been had tested negative if they needed to get tested. And so it was okay, you're taking precautions, we're taking precautions. This is the circle that we will be around.
Mhm. Um, the irony is, since I've taken this job, I've actually closed up my circle more because I do deal with the public now. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to be safer for everyone else around me. I'm
yeah,
less worried about myself than worried about, something clinging to me and going to someone else.
yeah,
And I realize it probably doesn't work exactly like that visual, but in my head it works.
yeah,
Um, but one thing I have been doing, and this is, we have Zoom meetings for all these things. And, yeah, we're getting the Zoom burnout. But one thing I started doing a couple weekends ago was, we have a group of friends, my daughter's dad, our friend Christine and our friend Abel. And Lauren has jumped on occasionally. We do like a Facebook call, and we've all known each other for the most part since we were teenagers. So we're just like the kids. We're doing those stupid filters. We're talking
Yeah.
about weird shit from when we were kids, and it's really fun. So it's not a Zoom meeting where I have to be on for maybe
Hmm.
people that I don't necessarily know, but it's these people that have known me for 20 years that I can just be a complete and utter dork with.
Yeah. And I
And
know there's a friend of mine in Minneapolis who has started occasionally doing, because she used to have like a fancy dress up brunch event. So
mhm,
she did one over Zoom. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a regular event, but she's been starting to do like Sunday brunches over Zoom
mhm,
where people, like, I honestly think that most people just get a bowl of cereal and come on. But,
yeah,
you can sit there with your mimosas and just talk about the same silliness that you would have if you were at this slightly too expensive restaurant.
yeah. All right, somebody commented on our event, but I can't see. Oh, they apologized for not making the meetup. They're nice. Um, I had also heard about this thing that it's something I saw on the net where this woman says she meets her friend for brunch. They pull up in their cars.
Hmm.
They both stay in their individual cars, but they're parked the way so that they can, they're still distant, but they're each in their cars. They have their brunch with them because they picked up takeout on the way, and they sit there and eat and they talk. And I thought that that was really cute.
That is really sweet. I saw that too. So I am putting in a reminder because I have more tea orders. Before I forget, since I'm gonna have to pack that tomorrow, and we're moving stuff out of the studio, so the packaging is gonna move.
Mhm.
Anyway, segue. So, by the way, I am selling this tea, voice cream tea, which is through Golden Apple, which is mostly adaptogens and nervines. So, if you are stressed out, a lot of people that have been that bought this tea for me are reporting really good results with reducing stress.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
I actually put it in our mailer today
Awesome.
that I sent out. If you do not receive the Golden Apple Metaphysical mailer, you can go to www.goldenapplemetaphysical.com and sign up to our subscriber list, and then you will receive all the goodies that I send out all month.
And a reminder, we are very much a startup, so if there are things you're looking for or innovations you need, let us know. I am very inventive.
She's very inventive, and you know what? Actually, I had a woman call the business line the other day.
Yeah.
I picked it up, and she was looking for something that we're not carrying currently. She was looking for amethysts, but
Hmm.
she really wanted to be able to kind of check them out for herself, like be in
Right.
proximity to check them out. And I recommended some places in the city that I thought may or may not be open. I recommended for her to call them, but we
Hmm.
have no problem recommending you to someone else if we can't meet your needs.
Exactly. I know I would have if she's in San Francisco, I'd have recommended Love of Ganesh.
I didn't know if they'd be open.
Yeah, it's a good idea to call them. I think they do have a website now, but
Mhm.
usually they go through you have to go through their Facebook page. Love of Ganesh is this fantastic crystal and spiritual shop in the Heights.
That loves Diana.
They're very, very nice to me. They're run by, I think the women that own it are from Nepal, and they are very much devoted to Ganesh. Like, they have a little temple in the back of
Yeah.
the shop, which you can't really use right now because of COVID, but
Mhm.
they ethically source all of their stuff,
Mhm.
and
They have
they
great crystal stones.
yeah.
Um, I got I can't, the wrap that you read, a sorry from them.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm going to be bitter about this one point. They have these bags, these great bags that are just like grab bags that you never know what's in them. And they're like $10, right? So you grab these bags. Diana and I get bags that are the exact same size and it never fails. Her bag will have like 30 items in it. Mine will have 4. And I don't know how it was like her bag is always the like Mary Poppins bag. And she keeps so, and I'm like, our bags are the same size and my items are not that much bigger than yours. How do you get more?
So the last time I was there with Cinti, and Cinti got the Mary Poppins bag instead of me.
Okay, I feel better now. I feel that makes
Yeah,
me feel a little better.
like, I think that they actually that the owners actually like Cinti a little bit more than they like me.
It's okay. I just find it was amazing because that one day I was like, you stop pulling shit out of that bag.
I mean, it was kind of like it was kind of like the bag of requirement. Whatever I happened to need
Mhm.
would show up in that bag.
Yeah,
It got to the point where if I was ducking into the shop for something I needed, I would just grab the bag because I knew it would be there,
yeah. But
or
no,
something
it's a
better than what I was
gorgeous,
looking for would be in it.
yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous little shop. And we love that shop.
Yeah.
I really hope that the pandemic did not cause them to close permanently. I would
Ooh.
cry.
The last time I was there was a line going partway down the block,
Good,
and that was last August.
good.
And it was really sweet because she remembers me and she's like, "Oh, you haven't been here in a while." And I had to explain that I'd inadvertently moved. And
Yeah.
she, well, make sure you come back as much as you can. And like, she was only letting people in one at a time. And she, like, and you had to be with your group. And because Cynthia was with me, she let them in on their own and just let me cut the line. And they do spoil me there a lot.
I'm so excited. I just looked them up online. The store is still there. It's closed currently because it's, like 11 o'clock at night. It opens again tomorrow at 11 a.m. and they have a Facebook page.
Hmm.
Look, I'm so dumb. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to follow their Facebook page. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, you follow it too.
I do. I am terrible about reading my Facebook pages anyway. So
Yeah.
there's so many people that get into these internet squabbles, and like I just kind of delegate that to Cynthia and Nikki because I just, one, I am burned out, and two, I can either have everybody else's crap in my head or I can be reading books and making art and doing things to feed the very dry well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be innovative if I was entangled in the groupthink that the internet is.
Mhm. But
So
that's okay. We're totally okay with that.
yeah, I'm going to leave that to you guys. You guys people better than I do.
All right. And I am actually going to post this, their Facebook page in the in our chat box on I don't know where this went. Okay.
Okay,
This
so
went
I'm
to
seeing
our
it
Facebook
post.
and to Golden Apple. Yeah.
I'm seeing it post for Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it on here so you can see it. So if you're watching this, love this shop. They're amazing people and they have the coolest stuff there.
They really do, and it's stuff that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah. No, they're really awesome. And I'm so happy to see that they're still open.
Yeah, I was super excited about that too. Yeah, when I was back, a lot of stuff was still kind of coming along.
I think there are some small businesses that have retail businesses that have been affected.
Yeah,
I think that it is hitting the bar and restaurant industry more, which obviously is something that's very close to me.
yeah.
Um, and we'll see where we go from here. We really don't know where we're going to end up, but we are damned and determined that we're going to come back.
I hope so. Well,
Yep.
you better. Cindy needs to see the glory that is Martinis,
Absolutely. Everyone needs to see the glory that is martinis.
and I need my fucking Sazerac. Yeah,
Right?
I need my Sazerac. I need that Sazerac that knocks me in my ass and makes me drunk text my exes.
Wait. Can we take out that ingredient?
The drunk text part, probably.
Good. Excellent. Um, but part of what I will be doing to keep myself going until that point is I've kind of developed some meditations with the elements that kind of help me recharge my energy on those levels. So I wrote about it in one of my blogs on the website, and I don't remember, of course, which one because my brain is like mush. But let's see if I can see it. Media, workshops, and events, services. Oh, there we go. Because I changed the website a little bit. That's why I don't remember any of this stuff. I don't know what this is. Maybe I wrote about it. But it's just basically finding how you connect to the elements and this was you wrote this, so I won't find what I'm looking for in that blog. But it's finding how you connect to the elements. Like if you're trying to connect to the water element, well, because I live next to the ocean, that's going to be my go-to for the element of water. So I'm going to really try and envision, like, I don't think I'm great at meditation, but I'm really good at visualization. So
And And I think a lot of people think they're bad at meditation when it's really figuring out what works for them.
Yeah, I fall asleep when I try to do those guided ones.
Well, usually you fall asleep because you need the sleep. Like
Oh,
I've always told, I've gotten yelled at for going to group meditations at the San Francisco Public Library and falling asleep because I snored one time. But the reality is, if you try to drop into meditation, you fall asleep, is because your body actually needs the sleep. So I never think that's wrong.
mhm. Well, I will listen to those guided meditations and I'll get like the first 15, 20 minutes, then I'll drop off, then I'll catch the end. So I figure the part that I needed for my subconscious was the part in the middle, and that's why I fell asleep. That's why I tell myself. I don't
And
know if it
sometimes
works,
that's the
but
case.
yeah. But so what I'm doing when I'm doing this and I'm trying to recharge, let's just go with water. I'm gonna picture the waves moving in and out, and I can actually hear it, and smell the sea breeze. And I don't ever walk barefoot, but I know what the feeling of the sand underneath my shoes is. I know what it feels like when I plunge my hands in that water. So I'm thinking about all of these things, and then in my mind, when I'm plunging my hands in the water, that energy is getting shared back and forth. And I don't know if you call it grounding, what have you, but it's literally just me sharing my energy with that element, and we're sharing back and forth. There's no taking, it's give and take. So it's literally like, a an oval of just energy that comes back and forth. Very similar to the way that when I'm able to pull and then give better energy back to people. Um, and that just might be that's how I do my energy work. That might be why it works for me. But I have similar things for every element. And when I'm feeling a little off balance, I try to do these things. If I'm not able to go outside and actually commune with that particular element, I can do these things in my head, and it does help me balance out. And I think as metaphysical people, we really do have to find what balances us out.
And there will be times when the things that we use all the time will need to shift.
Hmm.
So, like that element thing is fantastic. I know, like, I usually use this grounding method that I use in my empath class, which apparently it is almost identical to a grounding method that that ADF druids use, which I had no idea because I've never been interested in the druid side of things.
Hmm.
So Cindy got a laugh out of that because it used to be ADF. But sometimes it works, and sometimes it's enough work that it's too much stress.
Hmm.
So, I may go back to my super basic methods of counting to 100 or trying to get to 100,
Hmm.
or just kind of stopping and trying to become ambient to the room around me.
Hmm.
And sometimes for me, like exercise is usually one of my best ways of getting into a meditative state because I tire myself out just enough that I can actually relax.
Hmm.
And there's days like I remember right before I went on a trip to Paris, like I was just too excited.
Hmm.
I couldn't even make it through my yoga class because I could not get my head there.
Yeah.
So it's, give yourself a lot of self-forgiveness when the stuff doesn't work right away. And I will tell you, for people beginning meditation, that clear your mind and think of nothing is just a mean joke. Nobody actually thinks of nothing. The
Because
point
I
is that
think
you
your brain. Well, I sat down with Brad one day because when we're sitting next to each other, I'm always like, "What are you thinking?" Nothing. I don't believe you. What are you thinking? Nothing. He always says that he's thinking nothing, and I'm like, "There's no way you can't be thinking nothing." And then one night we were laying in bed, and I literally just rattled off all the things that I was thinking right in that moment, and it was like 26 things. And he's like, "How do you think of those so many things?" I'm like, "How do you not?"
because nothing means poor Nikki.
Why don't if you just say that, I would be okay with that. But no, I really think he's not thinking of. I think in his mind, he's not thinking anything of consequence, so it is nothing.
No, I had a friend in college who really had the capacity to do that.
He might. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, like he could just blank his mind out and nothing. And I mean, he used to give me weed in hopes I could get there. Mostly it did help the migraines,
Yeah.
but he could just do nothing. Like he could just, okay, done thinking. And there was a period of time when I was meditating really heavily in my 20s where I could just turn it off, but then I'd realized I turned it off and went, yeah, I turned it off, and then, oh fuck, I thought something.
Mhm. Well, I can say that there are certain completely blissed out states where in the moment that I'm not thinking anything. Like a partner of mine is a massage therapist, and I've had problems with my shoulder for years since I was in construction. And he'd given me a massage, and I literally fell asleep during this massage at certain points. But for I was so blissed out because there was no more pain that
Hmm.
I think that I was literally not thinking anything in that moment.
Well, also, good looking man massaging you.
Yeah, but we were very
There is that
specific
part.
that it was just a professional massage. We scheduled everything else for another day.
So, like right now, what I'm doing to kind of slow down because, like, I've actually had trees complain I think too loud, according to a friend of mine. But
Mhm.
like, because when I teach my empath class, I talk about your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body. Well, for me, the noisiest one is the mental body.
Mhm.
There's like Grand Central Station, like multi tracks running around and a couple of highways.
Mhm.
And so what I'm stopping and doing because I'm very kinesthetic is thinking of it as respiration is okay, the thoughts go out, air comes in, and so rather than, it's still a thought, but it's like more of a sensation.
Mhm. It's kind of like a mantra kind of thought.
Not quite a mantra because mantra usually involves either a specific symbol or a specific prayer. It's more literally like when you feel your breath, but I'm just feeling that in one of my energy bodies. And apparently my mental body is especially inflamed because I'm feeling heat, a whole bunch of heat going out,
Mhm.
and then just trying to bring in something cooling.
Okay.
I would go roll around in the snow, but I know where my dog has been.
Doesn't that help you avoid pitfalls?
You would think so, but there's a lot of pits to fall in around here.
Nice. Yeah, so it's definitely about finding the stuff that works. And if you're not a magical person and you just are trying to find some self care, even with kids, like I said, if you can, you know what, if you can have a little time to yourself, that's just quiet time, maybe having a cup of tea and reading a book when the
Yeah,
kids go to bed, like take those moments and do not begrudge yourself those moments.
yeah,
And I know that I'm the worst person for taking that advice. I've been doing better though. I might sit and have a cup of coffee and either, read something. I've been trying to turn off my devices, which is, it's very hard for me.
yeah.
Um,
I've gone so far as to have a charging station in a completely different room. So if I even want to check my phone, I have to get up and go across my house to go get it.
we have that for the kids. I'm not so good at that. I have a cable next to my bed. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah. The one thing I don't like is that my partner is one of those people that likes TV while we sleep, and I hate that.
Yeah, I can't do that. We have
Like
one
I've
TV in the entire
never like I don't mind having music in the bedroom, but I really hate having TV in
Mhm.
the bedroom.
Yeah. I feel like TV gets me too amped up.
Yeah, it
You know,
does.
I occasionally will watch on my phone.
Hmm.
If I'm just really tired and I want to lay in bed and my body aches, then I'm like, oh, I'll just go zone out. But then once I start feeling myself get sleepy, I will turn it off and
Yeah.
try and just either lay there calmly or do something where I'm not having that screen, do that mental trick on my mind.
Yeah. Well, at this point, just because of the way things are, because for them it helps because it masks out the noise from the kids, and our kids are at the age where they will do anything to get out of going to bed, and then complain that they're tired the next morning.
Yeah.
To the point where we have in fact played them Samuel L. Jackson's "Go the Fuck to Sleep"
I love that book.
more than once.
I will say with Chris, his body does demand that he gets tired and he feels it. Like it's so funny. I know you haven't seen him in a little bit. His voice is so low right now, and when he gets tired, it gets even. Mom, I'm tired and I'm going to bed now, and it's so low. But his body,
So when he turns into Tom Waits, it's time to go to bed.
well, no, his body gets very tired. So he had like literally 8 o'clock. He's getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
Because the I think the mental strain from
Hmm.
the Zoom, I don't think it's too hard for him, but it is more of a mental strain on
Yeah.
him than physically being in class. So I think that he takes naps quite frequently during the day and he's ready for bed, but then he's up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
But we have done a thing because occasionally he will wake up at like 1 in the morning or at
Hmm.
midnight. And so instead of getting on his phone, I say, Chris, why don't you play with your Legos for a little bit
Yeah.
until you feel tired and then go to bed? So he's not getting that stimulation from the phone.
Yeah.
And it feels better.
We've only realized one of the problems with our kids is that we did get them tablets this summer, and we were letting them charge the tablets in the room, and they were staying up on them all night.
Mhm,
So the tablets now go in the studio, and they do not check the tablets overnight.
mhm.
Granted, with our middle kid, he may never see his tablet again the way he's going because we have this rule that you can't have it unless you actually finish your schoolwork.
That's a good rule.
He does not seem to be connecting this despite us trying to get him to connect it over and over and
Yeah.
over right now.
Well, they're good about putting their stuff on the charger down here. Chris now has been charging his in his room, but I know that he's not on it. Like he's the kid that if he says he's not on it, he's really not. Um, and he's been good about the Legos. I think he uses that in class too when he starts to get frustrated. It's a coping mechanism for him. So for those of you that don't know, my son had a serious illness a few years ago. He's okay now, but we have some processing things going on. Um, so we find alternative methods to help him deal with things like frustration.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of coming back to the burnout stuff
Mhm,
too, is I recently got my hands on some kinetic sand.
mhm,
And so you remember for the people with stress squeezy balls and whatever, it's actually really soothing to play with. It doesn't make that much of a mess because it's kind of like this sticky, stretchy, almost
mhm,
like fabric material,
mhm,
which you can still take really disturbing pictures with depending on what you make, but it really does help, at least for kinesthetic people, it does help
mhm,
with the stress a lot.
mhm. I may try that for the kids actually. So thank you for that. And that brings us to the next part of that. It's not just about being kind to yourself, it's about being kind to the people around you. Like, we have to realize that as much stress as we're going through, our families and our friends are also going through. And I think sometimes we think about all this stress adults go through, and we aren't always processing the stress that the kids are going through. I don't
Yeah.
know if the boys' school is like Chris and Lizzie's, but they talk about current events.
I think that our oldest does, not so much with our youngest,
Yeah.
although they get into the news. They find a way to find the stuff
Mhm.
out. So, like in my first couple months here, our 10-year-old, both of them were finding things about the pandemic and scaring themselves. And we were trying to protect them from that
Mhm.
a little bit with you need to wear a
Yeah.
mask. We're just trying to understand what's going on here. And there's one day where, because we went down, there's a Latino mercado right by our house.
Mhm.
And I went there to get some herbs and spices because I generally like what the mercados have better than mainstream grocery stores. And he found a packet of crickets that are for burrito stuffing. And he asked if you could have it. Okay, I apologize, guys. My dog is going a little nuts, so bear with. Just a sec, I have to mute.
Okay, while she's meeting the dog, it is just as important that we just at least make some amends for the fact that our children are going through stress. So if you see them being grumpier than usual, one of the things that we give Chris to help regulate his frustration and emotions is I think it's B6. So he gets a half a B6 once a day, and that definitely helps him manage his frustration. So an extra vitamin, it's B6, right, Jobin? Yeah, it's a B6 that he gets every day, and that definitely helps.
And B6 and B12 is very, very good for adults too. And B12 is really good if you don't want mosquitoes to bite you.
Or
Things I've learned the
copious
hard way.
amounts of garlic.
Well, that would be you. And clearly it's a pandemic because you really don't care who gets close to you then.
I have no complaints. I've been told that I smell like kindergarten.
What the hell are they feeding kindergartners?
Well, no, apparently one day I guess I smelled like Elmer's glue and cookies.
Do I want to know?
It was a weird day. We were having coffee, and that's what I smelled like that day. But apparently that was very comforting.
Okay, so whenever someone says something like that, have them hold their hands over their head and say a simple sentence and make sure they don't smell burnt toast.
If it helps on one of the hotel days, I was just spicy smelling.
Uh, okay, I so did not need to know that.
I was thinking of the Sudanese black rose oil that I was wearing, you perv.
Right.
I was. You know, I don't wear perfume.
No, that's more my thing. But
Yeah.
I like to collect perfume. So
Yeah. So you were talking about, we're backtracking here. It was Nora was barking.
yeah, apologies. My dog gets a little
Oh, they
reactive.
all, I'm surprised Luna's not barking right now. She's just going out for a walk, so she's happy.
Ah, well,
Maybe.
happy puppy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um,
I swear, Luna can freaking pick locks.
God, this dog. She destroyed her cone of shame for her foot.
I've thought about putting one in Nora, but I think it would end badly unless I put ribbons on it or something.
Yeah, she learned because I got her one of the softer ones, not the hard plastic. She
Hmm.
learned that if she rubbed her face against the wall, she could bend it back.
Hmm.
And now she's got like some fur rubbed off right here in her orbital socket because when she had have her face in it and would rub it against the wall, it would rub against her thing.
Oh.
I'm like, and it's like frayed on one side. The plastic, so she could see, is all scratched up and like bent. I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know. She was like, I'm gonna get rid of this thing one way or another, lady.
Poor doggo. I had a fox terrier where dogs are supposed to hate mint, and I can't remember what he did, but he cut his foot.
Hmm.
And so we wrapped his paw up and put mint oil on it. And he sat in front of me, glared at me, licked off every single bit of that peppermint oil, and then just yanked off the bandage multiple times.
Yeah, we do a combination of like when she'd cut the bottom of her foot at the dog park. I had Neosporin on a pad, wrapped it around her foot. Then we taped it with some medical tape. Then we used the self-adhesive tape. Then we put medical tape around that to waterproof it. And then when she was in the house, she had to wear a sock.
So, for the audience at home, inability to stay on topic is very much a sign of burnout.
Mhm. We're both
I
doing
think
this.
Nikki and I are displaying this quite a bit right now.
Because we both completely forgot what you were talking about. If any of the audience remembers what we were talking about when Nora started barking, put it in the comments because we
I
don't.
mean,
I know I don't remember.
I've lost my mind. I've gone off to find myself. If you happen to find me before I come back, please ask me to wait.
Please call this number.
Yeah, pretty much. Feral Diana.
What was that?
It's not
Did
a
you see
reward, it's
that?
more of a ransom of Red Chief
Yeah.
situation.
Another tangent. Did you see that meme where they were talking about? Uh, I've heard about a domestic housewife, which means that there must be feral housewives, and now I have a new goal.
I didn't, but that sounds like a life goal.
It's something like that, but I loved that. That was our tangent number 12 tonight.
Okay,
Um,
there's got to be. I'm gonna look. Oh, since we're this far into sidetrack, I'm gonna look for a feral housewives group on Facebook.
feral.
I'm
Oh my
looking.
god, it hurts.
There's a feral housewives group. There's like 5 of them.
Oh my god, you need to post that in the comments.
Feral housewife. Okay, the largest one is 254 members. Order of feral housewives.
That's
Feral
amazing.
housewives at the beach.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, there's only 2 in that one, and we want to find out which beach because if it's like Palm Beach, fuck that noise.
Yeah, no, I don't
Um,
want that.
all right, so I think this is like the one with the largest activity. Okay, I think I have to send it to you to post because
Okay, send it to me on Messenger and then I'll click on it. Oh wait, oh private
I'm
chat.
going to
Okay,
send it to
hold
you in the chat
on.
here.
Oh,
So,
here we go. Copy link address. Go back to
oh, the
regular
number of feral
comments.
housewives would.
I like it.
I didn't know that was even an option. I would be so good at that. I'm already a biter.
Right. All right, Facebook group. No, wait, I'm gonna show that one. Oh.
There we go. We have found the feral housewives group. So now you can get advice on how to bite, eviscerate, and pee on things in Housewife.
You had me at bite, but everything else you kind of lost me.
I kind of figured, yeah.
I don't want to pee on things because guess who's gonna have to clean it up?
Well, this is the feral part. Is he hand the bleach to the husband?
Then he would bleach my floors. And you know what that would do to these floors? I'm just saying.
Nikki's clearly not a feral housewife, but
You know what it is? It's because I smell things
Mhm.
really like real like I can smell like I walked into my closet, which is a clothes closet, and I was like, was one of the cats in here? Did they pee in here? Holy shit, they did. And I found the item and I washed
Mhm.
it, and now it smells fine again. But do you think anybody else would have noticed that? Nope.
No, Lilith is the little. So Nikki's cat Lilith has peed on my stuff before, just to indicate disapproval.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But look at who I named her after. She's not obedient in the slightest.
yay. It's like people that name their pets Loki. You kind of deserve what you get.
Yeah, but I mean, she is most definitely a Lilith.
Oh yeah, a little bitch kitty.
But you know what? She's like Lizzie's roommate. She sleeps in her room every night. Occasionally, she will sleep on her pillow. It's so cute. This cat is draped across the pillow. Then you see this little red head.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Tangent number 13.
I know. I think we're kind of hopeless tonight,
Yeah,
but
no, it's okay. We've been having fun.
we have been. Especially, do we want to talk about my week this week, or do we want to leave that one alone?
Um, let's not get too in depth about it, but we can definitely. As I was very pleased to announce in our mailer today, Diana's going to be working some conventions this year. Two are virtual conventions. One, we hope, knock on wood, will be an in-person convention because that's later in the year.
Mhm.
The first convention is WitchCon,
Mhm.
which
So,
is March 5th through 7th, and you have a lot on the docket there.
for WitchCon, I think I only have one thing.
Oh.
Like I have more. Like Pagonicon, we're going to be doing a little bit more just because they have an open call.
Mhm.
WitchCon, I'm going to be teaching a class on invisibility work for immigrants and activists.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's on Saturday.
Yeah, so this is more of my advanced magic class because there really aren't other places that are comfortable with me teaching that kind of magic.
Hmm.
And the people that need to hear it the most go to WitchCon or invest in WitchCon, and it's not your mainstream pagan audience. It's people that don't even necessarily identify as pagan, but that do use magic. So,
Hmm.
completely different group, completely different community from the usual. And, they're not going to be concerned about what the pagan dust up of the week is because it has no bearing and is not useful to their
They're
lives.
like me. They don't care.
Or they literally only have internet access once in a while.
Well, yeah, okay.
Some of them.
Less than
Not
me.
very many, but some of
Yeah.
them.
But so WitchCon, which has over 100 presenters on it,
Mhm.
is I don't know if I can. I think that this is a good phrase, and I don't think that he would hate this phrase. But the bad boy of the pagan community. Um, so the person that runs this, I don't want to put names out there, but the person that runs this is someone who has reportedly, since I don't know things as gospel or fact here, done some things that were not very nice, some things that Diana and I personally would never condone, um, and has caused harm, which they have admitted to other people. Um, so now
There is a counter movement, and
thank
a
you, counter
lot of it.
movement.
There's a counter movement, and while I understand the logic behind it, unfortunately, the move fails several points on the cult danger evaluation frame because it tries to control what people do in the most negative way possible. And even for a good cause, it's still kind of a cult behavior fail.
See, you said that all smart. I'm just like, I don't truck with cancel culture. I feel like it's the Regina George in the room. You can't sit with us. We wear pink on Tuesdays. I do feel like that's my initial instinct about it.
And I
Um,
think you're right, but the way these people see themselves is they still see themselves as the nerds and the outcasts, and that they're trying to exclude the bullies that they always had trouble with. And this
but the
guy does kind of have a Howard Stern thing going on,
you
for
know,
those that get that reference.
and I posted this on your wall, so I don't have any problem saying it here. There are things that I have heard about this person that I am completely, what's the word, aghast at, that I'm completely would never be okay with. There are other things that made me laugh my ass off. Laughed my
Yeah,
ass off. Because you know me, I'm that person that a little kid slips on a piece of ice, I'm a laugh. My children roll down the stairs, I'm a laugh. It's and everyone has that side of them. They don't want to admit it, but they do. And
Nikki particularly embraces her demons,
I embrace my demons.
and they sometimes hug back. It's a little
They
terrifying when that
do hug back.
happens.
It's very
But yeah,
fun. But I'm honest enough with myself to admit that I have tendencies like that. Not some of the actions that this person has taken, but some of the things that I heard just that I've heard this person say, because I have though I don't know this person at all, which is why I'm very reticent to make commentary about this person, because I don't know them. A lot
hmm,
of people in this particular play, I don't know the characters.
yeah,
And that is as much by design as fate there, or as designed by accident there. I'm not sure what I meant to say there, but you know what I meant to say.
yeah.
Um, so, I did watch this person's show last week, and there is a certain way that this person speaks that reminds me of a lot of people that I grew up with. And so I feel like I understand the tone that this is being put out,
Hmm,
because I did grow up with people like this, but I also understand how it can be hurtful
hmm.
and taken in the very, worst way. Um, but again, because I am who I am, I see things in kind of a different way. I see both sides.
Yeah,
And there are people that this person has hurt who I would never discount their
yeah.
experiences. And I don't condone the things that have happened to them. But anyway, so now with this whole cancel culture thing, all the presenters at this particular convention are being targeted. And I am going to use the word targeted because that's exactly what is happening. They are being targeted merely for choosing to present at this event.
And this isn't new. I know people that have unfriended me because I've taught, because like I went to convocation last year, which if I hadn't, I never would have met Cinti.
Mhm.
And just because I was on the same platform as someone that they deemed a cultural appropriator without checking with the community that actually initiated him, or somehow deciding that that the person who deemed this person an appropriator had more authority than the entire community that had made that decision.
Yeah, again, this is a situation that I don't have huge details about because I
You
don't
don't care. You
have.
just want to do bullshit with magic.
Well, the reason I don't care is because I evaluate people on
Hmm,
my own basis, because I have people that I love in my life that I know very, very well,
hmm.
that society has a very different perception of them, or
Yeah,
people that they've grown up around have a very different perception of them, and I know them to be very different, which is why I meet people, I evaluate, and then I decide where they are going to be, either in my life, on the fringes, or completely out. Those are my choices, because I can't go. I have been the person that has been targeted and has been, people have decided who I am.
yeah. Well,
So I give people that benefit of the doubt. Now, if there are warning labels attached to a person, of course I'm going to listen to that and I'm going to be careful,
yeah.
but I'm going to be smart about it.
Hmm.
I'm not going to take all these things that I'm hearing and go, you know what, this is the gospel. I'm going to investigate it, because that's what I do.
Yeah. And I have been in recent months, granted, I have universe sized fish to fry. So this carp,
Mhm.
like these little minnows in the frying pan, it's the whole world to them. They're in the frying pan. And to me, it's just I have had shit that is so much more concerning than what somebody thinks about who I'm choosing to associate with or why. And, I'm not looking at the discussions about me. It's a bunch of people that never even read something I've written,
Mhm.
or if they have, it hasn't been retained. It's people that have never spoken to me, or Very possibly like the people at Pantheacon that came up, read my name tag, and decided I wasn't famous enough to talk to and wandered off, which is a common behavior.
Mhm.
And they're making all kinds of extrapolations about me. Okay, you're wrong, fuck you.
You know what?
You
And
know,
I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it now.
yeah,
Bring your cancel culture because you aren't strong enough to cancel us. That's,
honestly, it's not
that's
even
it.
strong, it's relevant.
Well,
It's just
but
not
no,
fucking
that
relevant.
is a part of strength.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you don't have the juice to cancel us because the people that are supposed to hear what we have to put out there will find us.
Well, I keep thinking of this incident on Tumblr where I wrote about how historically bad academic writing is. And most academic writing is just plain fucking bad.
Mhm.
It's poor grammar structure, it's not understandable, but because it's academic, it's given a pass on writing quality. And I wrote about this in Tumblr, and some 18-year-old had a hissy fit going, I bet you've never written an academic paper in your life. And I'm like, bitch, I had a 4.0 in grad school. I've written more academic papers than you have in your, than you've read in your existence. It's just the jumping to that conclusion because you're up in your feelings and being reactive. And the reality is, I'm a professional writer. I have been writing professionally since I was 16. I know good writing from bad writing, and I also know that I write badly a lot and have to revise a lot. My editors, I owe them like cases of whiskey. I may be part of their eventual liver replacement.
Send them wine. I get the whiskey.
Yeah. Um, but what it comes down to, and anybody who has benefited from my editing or writing feedback knows, I know good writing.
Mhm.
At the same time, this person who doesn't know shit about me immediately jumped to this extremely condescending conclusion because somehow they thought they knew better without knowing anything. And right now, if people are being led to a very specific opinion about me and, deliberately misconstruing, hey, when you get paid for a thing, there's a power differential, which is different from you don't care about other people that aren't making money.
And I totally understand your issue with this. My
Yeah,
issue is someone who knows you should know you well enough to know that you might have more reasons for why you do something than are on the surface.
yeah.
And
And
then to that person, I say, we don't owe you an explanation. We don't owe you a reason because you've shown that you don't deserve it.
yeah, and clearly my kindness was mistaken for weakness, and that won't happen again.
And the thing is that you don't know people's stories. Saying that you're gonna let's unfollow, let's cancel all these presenters that are some amazing people, and then to have the audacity to say that you're willing to have conversations with certain people if they come to you and apologize for choosing to work with this person's
Is
convention.
that what they're saying?
That was a
Wow.
direct quote. To have the audacity to tell someone that you will talk to them if they come and apologize. Are you
Wow.
my fucking mother? Are you my
Wow.
fucking mother?
Wow. That
Get a
that's like
grip.
pure abuser speech.
Smell yourself right now because
Yeah,
that's what the fuck is wrong with you.
that's manipulative abuser speech. That's like the that's like the time that a bunch of girls in my high school called me over to their table to report on my dating life to them. And I actually told them in front of my teachers to go fuck themselves, and they're the ones that got sent to the principal's office instead of me.
And to this person, I will say, if you don't like who I am or how I work my magic, you're the person that brought me to the well.
Congratulations, you crossed the line into cult leader.
Well, and
Not you, but this person, because
like I
whoa.
know I'm getting physically warm right now. We know
Because
that they are
because
they are
that's taking
live.
authority
Ooh.
over me that I did not consent to. I'm not part of this person's
Well,
tradition.
no, you weren't the person that was named. It was some other people
Yeah.
that were in there. But again, they do not deserve it either.
No, she is not an authority. No, that's such an overstep.
Um,
This is
and
like people trying to tell me I'm none. I'm not fucking Wiccan. This is
well,
like
and
people trying to tell me, well, their trad says, well, I'm not your trad. You're not my elder.
well,
Holy hell, that is not okay.
honestly, it's all the people that just discount me because I don't have a pagan pedigree.
Hey, I do, and I still get talked to like I don't like I need instructions now to wipe my ass with both hands.
But let's be honest. When we're at some of these conventions, I'm your lackey. I'm your sidekick.
You like to
You know what?
think that you're with your
I,
filter.
you know what? That doesn't bug me, like that thought of me, because I know the things that we work with. I know the things that we do.
I know who we are, and when people talk down to you, it pisses me off.
Mhm.
You
But
know,
I
there's a
don't.
lot of people that just assume that unless you're famous, you're somehow a beginner. And some of these famous people can't magic their way out of a paper bag.
Yeah, and it's. I'm trying to change the community, not for me and my experiences, but for my daughters and their experiences, and for everyone out there who's been a fringe person in the community and has been treated like crap because of it. There
Yeah.
was literally at Pantheacon the first year, not Pantheacon, Paganicon the first year that I went there, there was literally a panel talking about, am I pagan enough? And how many people I saw that stood up and had a statement of about a situation where they were treated like they weren't pagan enough for whatever reason. That's a
Mhm.
bullshit. We became, I don't know, well, I say we, but historically we became pagans to avoid, to get away from religious persecution. Or, we came to this country for that. My brain is, sorry, it's kind of crazy right now. But you know what? Like, I'm sorry. Are we all Catholics now that I gotta be told what to do, be told how to do it, and C, be shunned and ostracized because I'm not doing it the way you like it?
Mhm. Yeah. No, the whole situation is a mess. If you From the very beginning of when I started teaching, I have taught with the cult danger evaluation frame. And I do not want to disregard anyone who's actually been harmed by the situation because there are some ticks on both sides for everybody. And I know I try to run things in a very decentralized, open to everybody way. And there are positive cults. I'm focused on negative cults. But there's things about this entire situation and this entire tactic that on a social level, very much fails that cult danger evaluation frame. And even if you are absolutely for the good, you are still doing something very wrong by attempting to exercise that much control over people.
Well, and the thing that I said in your post was the last thing that I said was, and maybe I'm making an assumption, but I believe that we have all, as we're all adults, we have all at some point in our lives heard the phrase, two wrongs don't make a right.
Hmm.
Maybe everybody on both sides should think about that. And instead of fighting each other and causing these wars and trying to put out whose dick is bigger, because that's what it basically is, maybe let's find a better way to heal our community. I'm sorry, whose wand? Maybe my wand is bigger than your wand, but it's a pissing contest.
And that shit is exactly why I think Wiccan is still fundamentally patriarchal, but that's my opinion.
Well,
Um,
I,
but
you know, I got Wicca started me out. It started you out. Like it has its merit for the people that need it.
it does. And I was very drawn to it for the environmental message.
Mhm.
I was drawn to it because I'd been inadvertently praying to pagan gods for most of my childhood. And I definitely liked the trees around my church better than my church.
Mhm.
You
My
know,
my partner James, James,
yeah.
posted an article from Pantheos, talking about Wicca, and I
Oh no.
that I know that you won't read, um, because you're not a fan. But I thought it was a good
I
article.
do separate the person from the writing, and I will acknowledge this person as much as this person really needs to work on some ego strength so that not every insult is a world-shattering problem. The writing, when I have read it, has been pretty good. And I say this is a
I
really
really
critical
liked this
reader.
article. It was a very good article about Wicca and how people, not saying that you, but how people in general have a decision about Wicca
Mm.
that haven't even researched it, or say that these things that are in Wicca are cultural appropriation, when if they did their research, they would realize that these things are not traditionally part of Wicca. There are
Well,
things that other people have added.
well, in my issue, like I was seeing one of the worst cultural appropriation articles, and for example, yoga is not specifically Hindu. Hindus believe that all religions are like they kind of think that pagans are really just Hindus and that anybody with religious belief is a Hindu. And I would rather have like a friend of ours that is from India explain that because they can explain, she can explain it much better than I could. But yoga was designed to spread because it's a philosophical practice that happens to intersect with multiple religions and multiple expressions of religion.
Yeah, see, I just take such a more, and I say simplistic, not meaning that I'm dumb because I do understand a lot of things, but I just like simplistic things more. If we were all cooks, I wouldn't say you're not from Madagascar, don't use that vanilla. I would say, does that taste good in what you're making? Teach
Hmm.
me about it.
Yeah. Well, and for example, if I'm burning sage, I'm not going to say this is a Native American way of doing it. This is a Diana way of doing it.
Mhm,
But I also, again, there's a lot, people don't fully understand sage. Like, there are a lot of problems to that. Like, most people don't know what sage actually does in the human body. They don't know how it was used for, because sage originated in the Mediterranean and spread. And I don't know all about how white sage came to the United States or if it was a native plant. It seems unlikely it was an original.
mhm.
And I'm still researching that, but I'm actually researching it. And I just want to get out there that Google is not research.
Yeah, you really got to you got to, like, maybe that's a starting point that leads you somewhere else.
Yeah.
But, talk to other people about it. Like, embrace your community and the differences within it. Because, like, when I was trying to research about Nuada, and I was just hitting stonewall after stonewall after stonewall after stonewall, I talked to some people that had access to resources that I couldn't get through Google. And they
Mhm.
told me about links, and I was able to find so much information because I talked to people.
The other thing is public libraries are almost all universally digitized and have much better information than Tumblr
Yeah, yeah. Please don't get your information from Tumblr or
or a
from
Facebook
memes.
meme.
Though I do have people pushing me to go on to Tik. They think I should do a TikTok for the shop. I'm not on TikTok at all. I don't know how I feel about that. So that's a
Ask Tom about
conversation.
TikTok, but then you'll need to see a therapist.
No, 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 absolutely no, no.
My partner Tom sends me multiple TikToks during the day as a way of staying connected.
I'm still traumatized from pink flamingos.
It's not as bad as Pink Flamingo. Like today, they sent me one about a girl who got approached in a grocery store and she went, "You can see me? No one is supposed to see me. I want to do this. I'm so going to do this."
Well, so anyway, like, 5 different people from different places have told me that I need to make a witch talk for the shop, or a TikTok, or
Watch the
a
baby witch
talkie
TikTok.
talkie. I don't know.
Watch the baby witch TikTok. Watch them curse the moon, scream into the void a few times, and then you'll get mad enough to make some good TikTok, starting with, "Okay, you stupid shits."
You know what? I think the moon is like strong enough to handle the cursing,
I'm just picturing her looking at this going, like, if the moon could face palm, the moon would have face palmed.
right? And of course there's going to be misinformation out there, because guess what? It's social media, and it's not some kind of gospel. It's not a factual document. It's people's opinions.
And there are things that we take to be facts that, for example, there's a lot of stuff about ancient history that gets changed and upended every year. There's a lot of things we assume to be true that end up being shown not to be true, but it happens at such a rate that we can't keep up with it. This is one of those things that I fear about getting old, is just getting so stubborn that I ignore facts.
Mhm.
Now, my life has kind of put me through the ringer of having to catch up with science, even if it makes me uncomfortable.
See, I'm still digging the area where science and metaphysics come together, because bam, baby. Um, but let's put it like this. Let's talk about facts here for a moment. At one point, it was considered a fact that the earth was flat.
And apparently, people have picked that up again because of Googling.
Yeah, they still think it's flat. Then
Yes,
if you think it's flat, please take a long walk off a short pier.
well, if it's flat, start walking.
Yeah.
You'll fall off eventually.
Um, there are so many things that,
Maybe they thought the
are
Terry
facts.
Pratchett novels were like biographies or
Well, I
some.
wasn't thinking of Terry Pratchett. I was thinking of Terry Brooks because I really liked
Well,
those.
because Terry Pratchett Discworld is actually flat, and so people will go to prove it's round and then somehow never come back.
But that doesn't prove that it's flat. That just proves that they never came back. Maybe they found another island on a round world.
That is true, but they did seem to disappear fairly consistently. So flat earthers, just start walking. The ocean will be fine. There's not that much of it, right?
Yeah, right. At some point, you'll fall off. I would rather watch what me in my shows.
Just please do
Discovery
it
Plus
before you
people.
breathe.
Yeah, Discovery Plus people. It's got paranormal and the unexplained. All these crazy shows. I love these shows.
I get so annoyed because I keep on thinking of how they could do a better job, but then I would be the person that just cancels the show by existing. There's an angry ghost. No, that's a pissed off fairy. Give it some cream, give it some whiskey. If it's still an asshole, put some iron powder in it. End of problem.
But see, look at how much good we could do. I always watch these shows where they say that there's a demon. Like in this house,
Mhm.
there's there's always demonic energy there. It's always
Except it's
demonic.
almost never a demon. It's usually an irritated land spirit.
I'm like, well, I think, could I eat it?
Or could you make friends?
Could I make a
I
friend?
got I had a ghost tour person in Gatlinburg get so frustrated with me because like this is really haunted. No, somebody went to a lot of work to make sure that one wasn't haunted. By the way, the orbs are over there at that house.
Yeah. Well, I don't show me a picture with the orbs in it because I'm going to give you 15 reasons why it's not a ghost.
Okay, do you want me to show you the cemetery photos where they follow me around just by cleaning my camera several times?
I'm just saying. I
I get photo bombed
I'm
by
I
ghosts
know.
so often, it's getting annoying.
But when I see things, my first thing is, can we enlarge it? Can it be a bug? Can it be dust? Can it be hair? My mom showed me all these pictures from when I was a kid. Look, there's angels around you. And I look and I'm like, that's a fuzzed out filament of hair.
Yep,
But my mom believed it was an angel, and bless her heart.
if it
It was
made her happy,
probably a demon watching over me.
probably.
It's
Well, I know
okay.
the little black
I
eyes.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm probably and I'm sure that there's some very nice people that are going, but you said you didn't deal with that. Well, not directly. I broke her. So,
That's why she has me.
yeah.
By the way, just in case anyone's confused, not a keyboard warrior, demon priestess.
Yeah, I'm the angelic one. It takes a lot for me to get truly mad.
Yeah.
You don't want that. I do not start fights. I do not
I,
start them.
you do
I
not.
stand up to bullies, even when the bullies think they're actually righteous warriors. I will stand up to bullies, even if they don't know they're bullies.
Yeah.
And I don't start fights, but I will finish them.
And my whole thing is, if you have disagreed with anything that I have said on this or any other left unsupervised, please feel free to contact me. I am more than happy to have discourse with you. But the second you try to get squirrely with me, I will fuck you up.
Yeah, and notably, not one person that's had these comments about me has tried to communicate with me.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. How's that? If our house, like the shared values, the shared spiritual values in my house are love, respect, and honor. And if you're not making it past the honor wards,
Yeah. Well, my thing is that you're my people.
yeah,
Don't play with my toys. Don't fuck with my toys, people.
not a toy.
I know that you're not a toy, but you know what I mean.
I know. I love you too.
I'm like Nora. I'm going to give you pets.
Oh God, that's so disturbing.
Well, when you put it like that, it is, you perv.
Just give me some whiskey. I gave you the nice glasses. Just give me some damn whiskey. We're
I'll
fine.
give you absinthe. How's about that?
And I will bring you steak tartare that won't kill you the next time. Like that was one time. Usually it's been fine when I fed you steak
Usually
tartare
it's
that I
good.
made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually
it's just that I
it's
was a
good.
little
I can raw
distracted
meat all day.
and
Yeah.
used way too much mustard. So sorry.
Whew. Yeah. I tried though. I really tried. And it was
You
so
did.
good. It
You
was
were
so
breathing fire.
that I was eating it and I was like, oh my God, this is going to kill me tomorrow, but it's so good.
Oh, I don't think I got the steak from the really good place. There's this Italian market in Terraval
Mhm.
that has the most phenomenal beef cuts.
Oh, it's not Giuseppe. It begins with
No.
a G though.
Yeah, and they have like a sandwich shop across the street, but
Yeah, like George or
yeah, something like that. But they were really
I can't
phenomenal.
remember the name, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Um, so that's this. See, I have these things where I start to think about it again, and then I can feel the heat rising. You know what I decided I want to do? This is completely, it made me think of it, and another complete tangent, which is getting me off the other one, which is probably a good idea. The next time I'm doing, you know what? I can see you. Anyway, you know
And it's a
exactly what
good thing
that's
I'm
from.
2,000 miles away right now because I'm still
Yeah.
going to pay for that later, and I know it.
The next time I do energy work on someone,
Mhm.
I want to have like some scientific equipment. Like I want to have a thermal camera to see, like I feel the coolness when I'm pulling stuff out, but I want to see if it's actually trackable on scientific equipment.
So, do you have any parapsychologist friends? Because I've been trying to make some for us.
Well, we have a lot of ghost paranormal investigators that follow us on Instagram. So I might just put that out there. Like I think that that would be super duper cool. There's this one. No, I found them through a page, through a page, through a page, through a page. Because when I watch Discovery Plus, I watch all these weird shows.
Hmm.
And there were these people that were doing this ghost hunting that when I watched this thing, it was only 3 episodes in this season, but I was really like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? He's going to get an attachment. Sure enough, next 2 episodes down, he had an attachment. And it was from that episode. I was like, I know you're going to do this. Why? Just stop. Nope. I knew it. Called it anyway. This
So, speaking
they're
of,
based in
I do
Utah.
make an oil for entity attach for lesser oil, entity attachments. So, if you know it's minor and you can't necessarily afford the shaman or the spirit worker to remove it, and by the way, I do removals. Let me know and I can supply the oil because it just smokes it right off.
Yeah, and I kind of like I want to talk to like our paranormal investigation friends. If you think you have something minor that you've pulled it off, let's talk some trade. I'll pull it off for the chance to go investigate.
She will.
And I'm talking about your attachment, not anything else.
And I hear that there may be unless you're cute underneath, but and if you happen to be a post douchebag Wesley type, open relationship.
Right. Anyway,
So
so as we're done pimping ourselves on the show, but no, I actually would love to collaborate with a paranormal investigation team, just because I think that some of the stuff that we've dealt with, like
yeah,
we have felt the energy, and I would just love to get that documented scientifically, because these are the things that we're looking for. These people are looking for scientific proof of ghosts, of paranormal activity, of entities, of spirits. I said ghosts, which is the same thing as spirits. Um,
not well, spirits that are a broader range in my opinion,
yeah,
but
but
remember that
things.
issue we had with somebody reviewing urban magic who did not know spirit meant more than just ghost?
Yes, but non-corporeal things,
Yeah.
and there are all these tools out there, and some of the people that are out there are creating tools. Like, wouldn't it be cool to be able to have data that backed up what we were doing?
Honestly, I have an issue with having really rooted disbelief as a grounding factor. So it's what keeps me honest and gets me to try to rule out the practical things first. But ultimately, the data would be helpful. I'm just kind of wondering about the psychological impacts. And also, since I'm the person who can easily ruin any ghost hunt, this may need to be your department.
It might be in my department. I'm all over that. Speaking of, I had to skip a week because last week was my
Yeah,
bad January week. Um, my bad mental health January week.
yeah,
Um, I paused my episodes for my IGTV series, but my IGTV series is called My Paranormal Bucket List, because though I've never been ghost hunting, there are places that I want to go. So I will be having another episode this Friday. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do it on. I have a couple things where I'm like, that's cool. Like I thought about the Queen Mary in Los Angeles, but there's not really a lot of information about it.
Hmm.
I mean, there's some, and it's definitely about the hotel and the attraction, but it's the bites that they give you, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and then I was like, oh, there's I might do the Biltmore Hotel, the scene of the Black Dahlia.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah. I might do the Bourbon Orleans Hotel.
That is pretty haunted. I know
Yeah.
when I stay there, I'm probably going to have a rules and regs with the ghosts,
Mhm.
which is leave me the fuck alone. I'm not here to solve your problems.
Yeah. And
So,
it's just, there are plantations out there that I'd love to do. The Valeska Murder House.
well, New Orleans is just haunted from border to border.
Yeah.
Like there are people like my very first time in the city, my ex-husband and I were driving to the Ponchar train where we were staying, and there was somebody that knocked on the window to say hi when we were going 75 miles per hour in traffic.
Ooh. Ooh.
And that was just oh, hey, we've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
And I had this really interesting experience where I was at the Poncho train. It was during Christmas season, so almost no tourists. And this is like right after 9/11, like that December.
Mhm.
And I left the room to go get like ice or something. And I turned around and suddenly, like, they haven't changed the decor much, but all of a sudden I was just like not where I was.
Mhm.
Like it was a different year, and I could kind of tell because there was like just subtle differences that were very 50s.
You
And I
caught a
turned
tiny.
around, and this someone opened the door, and this very kind black man just kind of smiled at me and said, "Oh, honey, you need to go through that door to get back to your space." And, like he was like dressed 1950s style, and this is back
Mhm.
when he wouldn't have been allowed to be a guest in the hotel. And he just kind of knew what I was doing and just sent me back to where I belonged.
Well, but that follows the whole time is not linear,
Yeah,
saying like
but
those
and he
things
was
can happen.
completely aware of what was happening and where I was from, which was the trippy part.
Mhm.
And my ex-husband's like, "What happened to you? I looked in the hall and I couldn't find you." Yeah.
See, that's the cool shit that I want to like. I want to find that bridge between science and metaphysics. Like, it doesn't have to be like science doesn't have to back me up. Let's be honest, I'm never going to win a Nobel Prize for that. But just being able to like see it for myself, now they can theoretically prove that other dimensions exist.
Yeah.
They have, which we've known for how long,
Long
you
enough
know?
long enough to, use some of that as a garbage compactor, which is probably not the best thing. But
We'll just make that a small dimension.
mhm,
But, I mean, but that's why I'm we can stay at conventions that, teach things like how to make friends with the scary tarot cards. Legit class there. Or
to be
we
fair, a
can,
lot of people do struggle when they see the tower because it is kind of a bend over and kiss your ass goodbye card, especially if
oh,
it's
I'm the first
there with
person
Ten of
to admit
Swords.
that I don't read the tarot well at all. Not my jam.
I read the tarot and my tarot will sass me back.
But I think that particular title is very condescending
I can see that.
to the person learning and to the tarot cards.
I can see that. I don't know, like my partner Tom will read with the top tarot, and they will occasionally I will actually see in the cards them calling them a dumbass.
Mhm. But here's the thing: when you consistently have things that are like you're not giving people a progression,
Yeah.
and that's where we differ a bit. Like we don't want to be in the circle. Like what's over there? That looks cool. That's shiny.
Hmm.
You know, and and going somewhere where there are like-minded people, it
Yeah.
just makes me think about what could we do next? We know that human beings barely, if they're like Einstein, they're only using 10% of their brain capacity. If we all got together, what could we do? Like, how could we make not only our community, but the world better?
Yeah.
Those are my,
Well, and this is the point. There's misappropriation and appropriation. And no society that is currently alive today, none, except for like maybe maybe that one tribe that like keeps killing missionaries who keep trying to swim over there and disease them up, exist without appropriation. It doesn't happen. So virtue, this virtuizing of willful ignorance is helping no one.
My DNA strand alone
Yeah,
shows that everybody mixed in everywhere.
yeah. You know, given how many people can't place my nationality, it's because I am that mixed.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I look very Latin, and
Mm-hmm.
my mother was Mexican and Salvadorian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I do my DNA test, it's a very small percentage. Like it tells me that my immediate ancestors are from there, but when it goes through, like that's not what you're seeing there.
And I mean, we have a joke, but it's kind of true. I actually speak more Spanish than you do.
You
Granted, it's
do.
gotten,
Everyone speaks more Spanish than I do.
yeah.
But
See,
the fact of the matter is I have, you know, I have a good deal of DNA that's Portuguese and Spanish because those were the people that came over and conquered down in Latin America, that intermingled, and it happens all over. It does say that I have Native American, that I have Asian, that I have, African, that is much smaller percentage, but it is still a viable percentage, and then I have a lot of European in there, you know, um, and we all come together,
yeah.
and I don't think that there is no one on this planet, I think, that can say that they're completely pure or their bloodline all the way down is completely pure. And maybe when we get to that point where people can't tell the difference anymore, maybe that's when they'll finally try and have a peaceful planet.
Okay, so this is just giving me a vision of the movie Bulworth, where towards the end he's like, and if everybody started fucking everybody, it's not gonna. You'd need to
Okay,
see the
true
movie Bulworth.
statement, but I never saw it.
It was about a senator that got sick of his job and hired a hit on himself. And knowing he was going to die, basically had a nervous breakdown over the course of the week. It was kind of fantastic. Pair that with Wag the Dog.
I didn't see that one either.
That was one where the president was killed being stupid, and so they had a fake war to distract everyone.
I don't see a lot of movies that aren't like Disney or Pixar. To be
Fair.
honest.
It might be worth sneaking in somehow.
I know.
They're really
Um,
old movies now, though.
it's okay. That's the only ones I get to see.
I'm kind of getting there. Although right now we are guiding the kids, like we have a pizza and movie night
Uh-huh.
on Fridays, and we've been slowly guiding the kids through what we consider classic movies. So they've seen Gremlins, they've seen Labyrinth, they've seen every badass princess movie I could get because they were starting to talk about girls and women in ways that I was not okay with.
Uh-huh. Good way
So,
to go. Good way
you
to
know,
go. I mean, with the badass princess movies.
yeah, including Wonder Woman.
Uh-huh.
And
We
after seeing
still
Wonder
have
Woman, they have not said anything disparaging about girls in front of me.
good. We have not seen Gremlins yet. I don't know if it will freak them out. I'm surprised Elizabeth went to bed because I let her watch Supernatural with me.
Oh,
I
jeez.
warned her that it was going to be really scary, the episode we were watching, and she
Mhm.
didn't believe me. Don't feel bad for her at all.
I keep on thinking of the one with the rainbow puking unicorn and the bipolar teddy bear.
I watched that one with Brad.
I still haven't seen the last episode since he's like insisting I wait for them to catch up, which may be sometime in the next 20 years.
Yeah,
So,
no, we're recatching up so that I can watch the last two seasons.
so okay, so clearly wandering, it is good to catch up with a friend.
That's what
Oh
this
wow,
really
we were
is.
really
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's what this really is. But
um,
we do throw in some magic, and
yeah,
yeah. That's what we were talking about. The symptoms that the different symptoms of being burnt out. That's what we were talking about like an hour ago.
yeah, and then we just kind of I think that we're so burnt out that we both need to go to bed.
Yeah, but it was a good conversation.
It
I
was.
had fun. Even when I got all pissed off and it was still really fun.
Yeah, I think that we're
Yeah.
both growly, and I'm a little bit calmer about it because I kind of knew the bullshit was coming.
Yeah, it just makes me mad when people treat you like crap.
It happens kind of a lot, unfortunately, but
Excuse me, didn't you just say earlier in this that it makes you mad when people treat me like crap? And didn't I say
yeah,
the same thing to you? We're on some level, on certain aspects, we are the same person.
that you are basically my actual spouse. You know, Cynthia's my life partner, but you're the one I'm married to. So,
We stuck with each other.
yes, we have.
We have
Yes,
a
we
lot of
are.
fun. We have weird fun, but it's fun.
We do. And it is mildly disturbing to anyone around us, but you are the friend I have where eat a bag of dicks is a sign of affection. So,
Those are some great cookies, let me tell you.
hot cookie in the Castro, totally worth the visit.
I want to thank our one viewer who has hung out with us. Is that Cindy?
I think it might no, Cynthia's gaming right now, so I think that's
Okay.
Kathleen.
Oh, it might
And
be
so thank you
Kathleen.
for staying up past your bedtime. I know that you staying up
Yeah.
late is not your thing, so thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we had a good combo today. See us back in 2 weeks when I don't know what we're going to talk about.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Check out the website. Um, we have some Diana's tea that's coming out. I am
Hmm.
working on customized candles with a personalized service that comes with them. Um,
And I have a bunch of things. I just need to get them packaged. And right now we are in the process of moving my. I finally got the okay to move my herbal stuff into the
mhm,
office. So hopefully the next step is just getting decent packaging and
mhm,
getting the photos and getting them online. But in the short term, I can, if people by request, I will provide a list of supplies that we have on hand, that I have on hand. So if anyone wants to do a private order, that is an option. I have been doing. I think I've had about a dozen private orders for the Void Scream tea,
mhm.
and I'm still getting them. And it looks like Elements in Kalamazoo may start carrying it soon. I need to talk to the owner and see what she wants to do. Um, but it is there. If you need that, let me know.
Mhm.
We
It's
have
another
it.
thing. Yeah, we're working on new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You may at some point, hopefully soon, see subscription boxes from us.
Yeah.
Um, I've
Yeah.
been working, well, it's just more in the brainstorm process right now, but um, we
And
will be vending from Golden Apple in
mhm.
some of the conventions that are coming up this year.
Yep, we will be doing WitchCon, so we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do there. And also, if people want to buy any of my books and have them signed by me, I have Divorcing a Real Witch on the way. I have copies of The Maven, The Samhain, and fresh copies of Urban Magic for people that would want a signed copy. So again, just give me or Nikki a ping, and we will set that up for you.
Mhm. And hopefully this fall, we will have another book for you to sign for people.
That we do have a release date for fall. It has gone through. I'm just waiting to see the proof copies come out. But Hex Twisting Counter Magic for the Irritated Witch will be coming out. And Nikki is tacitly mentioned throughout, as are a few other people.
Mhm.
So, and again, this has kind of become my expertise, and what has the process of writing this book and what led to me writing this book is kind of what has moved me into the spirit worker territory. So if you are having complicated problems that the magic that you already know is not solving, we are the people to call.
Mhm. Check out our services page.
Yes, and we have some really good people on there.
Yeah, we do. And in fact, I'm gonna post the page link.
In addition, my partner Cinti runs Rooted in Bedrock, which is what they do is helps people with shadow work in a few steps beyond the mainstream conception of shadow work, and helps you work through unacknowledged emotions and helps you process those in such a way that you are able to move forward with other healing efforts that you are making.
Hmm.
It's something I've been doing with intensive work with them over the past several months. It is not pleasant work, but it is highly effective.
Yeah. And that's totally the important part.
Yeah.
I'm glad I checked this this page link because I almost had it totally wrong. All right, that is for our services page. You can also find Cinti and Rooted in Bedrock, one of their services on that page. I help with some of the services. My own personal services are work in progress, but we're getting there. And you know what? Just God, go out and be good to each other. Jeez Louise, we have enough crap going on right now, and without treating people badly.
Go out and commit a random act of kindness.
Yeah. Even if
Or,
it's
draw cryptic
like
messages on a
smiling.
sidewalk with chalk, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah,
But
put in a fairy door, plant flowers somewhere, bring in your neighbor's garbage cans. How about stuff like that?
yeah,
When you're going to the grocery store and there's the old lady that lives across the street, see if you can pick up anything for her.
yeah,
It's fun.
be unconditionally excellent to each other.
Yeah. We used to have communities like that. And I do see a lot of it now where people are shopping for other people, which is very nice. It's not like an Instacart thing because those people drive me
No, no,
shit.
I've found that in San Francisco next door where where elderly residents are posting, "Hey, I need help," and other people in
Mhm.
the neighborhood are picking it up, which is fantastic. That's like the
Yeah.
San Francisco that I missed out on when I moved there in 2014.
Mhm. And we used to have, like, back in the day, we used to have communities that took care of each other. We didn't just come together when someone died. We came together and as groups, and even, it started way back in when San Francisco was first being built and everyone lived in their cultural little pots. You'd come together and you celebrated and you mourned together. And we slowly, as technology grew and certain things changed, it changed how we treat each other. And that would be something that it would not be nice to see a resurgence from as we are in the 20s again.
Yep. Let's try not to have that stupid stock market crash again.
Let's try not to have prohibition again, though I would run a hell of a speakeasy.
Oh my God, I love speakeasies.
You know what? This
Minneapolis is
pandemic,
having resurgence of speakeasy style places right before I move.
look, I'm telling
Okay,
you,
so we're getting on another tangent when we need to be finishing up,
we
but
do. We're going to wrap this up right now. But honestly, my speakeasy is not going to be for booze because booze will be fine. It's going to be for my singers.
oh, that would be amazing.
The speakeasy because you can't go out and sing anymore. I mean, live music right now is
All right,
troubled, saddened. But
all
we
right,
are going to say goodnight.
all right, Nora, do you want to say goodnight?
Bye, Nora. You're such a pretty
This is going to be
girl.
like a goodnight Gracie thing.
Oh, such a cutie patootie.
She is such a smartass. She keeps stealing my sweaters. But
Nice.
all right, good night, everyone.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe. Stay not crazy.
As much as
And
you can.
yep. And as you've experienced, and I don't know if we should apologize for that, we've been left unsupervised. Night all.